Good morning. So we are on chapter 2 and 3 today in our book, Your Land, My Land. So I have uploaded chapters 2 and 3 for you already. I'm going to go ahead and show them to you, and we're going to go through it together. All right, so we are on chapter 2. I'm going to go ahead and open it with Cami so we can make it smaller so I can see the whole page at one time. Okay, I'm going to make it a little smaller. Okay, so we are on chapter 2, and this picture is of some students at Reeves Rogers Elementary School in Murfreesboro, and they have their own way of learning world geography. So we live on a planet that is shaped like a ball. We call this planet Earth. Before we talk about the United States, let's learn about our planet. Nearly 3/4 of Earth is covered with water. Since we spend most of our time on land, we often forget this. A globe is a map of the Earth shaped like a ball. So here are some basic points about how the globe is arranged. There are poles. Not many people live in parts of the Earth that are the coldest. The coldest places can be found at opposite ends of the planet. One of those places is the North Pole. The other is the South Pole. I'm actually going to pause right here so I can go get my globe. I'll be right back. Okay, so here is my globe. Okay, so there are two poles. There's a North Pole, which is at the very top of the Earth, and the South Pole, which is at the bottom of the Earth. Oceans. Oceans are the huge bodies of water that separate land masses. You see everything on here that's blue? That's ocean water. All the blue stuff, ocean water. See how much of it there is? Compared to the land, there's a lot more water than land. There are 5 oceans. There is the Pacific Ocean, which is the biggest one. There is the Atlantic Ocean, which is between us and Africa. There is the Indian Ocean, which is over here by the country of India. There is the Ocean, which is down here by Antarctica. And then the Arctic Ocean, which is up here on the top of the Earth. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Okay, so all of the water in the oceans is salt water. People can't safely drink salt water like we can fresh water that comes from rivers and lakes. Continents are these land masses that you see. Geographers divide the land masses of Earth into 7 continents. There's Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and Antarctica. And you guys learned those last week with Ms. Stockwell. The United States and North America. No one actually lives full-time in Antarctica on the bottom. It's too cold. So no one actually lives here all year round. Scientists go there to do research, but no one lives there all year. Lines. Geographers have created imaginary lines that circle the widest parts of the planet. So one is called the equator, and if you look really closely, it's right here. You see this line right here that goes all the way around? Now, it doesn't actually look like that from space, okay? This is an imaginary line. It goes around the middle of the Earth. That is called the equator. It goes around the widest part of the halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. And then there's another important line called the prime meridian, and it goes down. So like the equator goes across the Earth like a belt, and the prime meridian goes straight down like from top to bottom. And it is right here, this dotted line. Can you guys see the dotted line? Right here, prime meridian. It goes partly through Africa. That is called the prime meridian. So, because we have the equator and because we have the prime meridian, that divides our Earth into halves. And another word for a half is a hemisphere. Okay, so when we look at the equator, remember it goes around like a belt. We have a northern, the top part of the Earth is the northern hemisphere, and the bottom part of the Earth is the south part. The bottom part is called the southern hemisphere. So imagine like if you have a belt wrapped around you, okay, the belt goes in the middle. Your top part would be your northern hemisphere, and then your legs and your bottom part would be your southern hemisphere. But because of the prime meridian, we have two other hemispheres. So remember, the prime meridian goes through, it goes down through here, through parts of Africa, and it's on both sides. I need to dust my globe. It's little dust bunnies floating everywhere. So because of that, we have a eastern hemisphere and a western hemisphere. So the equator and the prime meridian divide the world into parts called hemispheres. The area above the equator is the northern hemisphere, and the area below the equator is called the southern hemisphere. West of the prime meridian, where it goes through the country of Great Britain, so here's Great Britain, okay? All of this over here, like most of Africa and most of Europe and Asia, that is all the western. No, it's not. It's the eastern. The eastern. So, I got stuck. So everything west of the prime meridian. Okay, let me. I don't want to confuse you. Everything in Africa and Asia and Europe. I'm just pointing to the globe like you can see it. Everything in Africa and Europe and Asia that is on this side of the prime meridian is the eastern hemisphere, okay? We are over here in North America. So North America and South America and this little bit part of Africa and some of Europe, that is all the western hemisphere, okay? And there is this picture down here. Do you guys see this picture of this lady? And she's standing on the monument in Uganda, which is in Africa. And she is standing on the equator. That would be pretty cool to go stand on the equator. All right, so this is a photo of Africa that has been taken from space. So what do you think all this is up here? All of this and this down here. What do you think that could be? It's desert, yeah. And then all of this through here is like lush green areas, green lands. All right, so here is a picture of a map, okay? Not a globe. Remember, a globe is round, spherical, like a ball, and a map is flat, like a piece of paper. So here it shows the equator, and here it shows the prime meridian. All right, so we are going to do some questions together. So what do you call the points on the globe which are furthest north and south? Let's go back up into our reading. Furthest north and south. Let's see. The coldest places can be found at opposite ends of the planet. One of those places is the North Pole, the other is the South Pole. So we could say, oops, I need to be transparent. The North Pole and the South Pole. So we need to go down here. Here we go, North Pole and the South Pole. The land masses are divided, the land masses on Earth are divided into 7 different, what are those things called that you talked about with Ms. Stockwell last week? They are 7 different continents. 7 different continents. There we go. And the blank is a line that goes around the widest part of the Earth, halfway between the North and the South. What do you think that is? It goes around the widest part, like a belt. Okay. Right, it is the equator. I'm not going to write that one on here because I want you to do that yourself. So what do you call the area above the equator, like the top half of the globe? The top half of the Earth, what is that called? What hemisphere is that called? It's the northern hemisphere. Good. And what do you call, see, this is tricky because I messed up on this one. What is the area to the west, like where the United States is and North America and South America, to the west of the prime meridian? If it's to the west, it's going to be the Western hemisphere. Good, Western. Do many people live in Antarctica? Why? Why not? Why or why not? I bet if we go look in our reading, we will find the answer. No one actually lives full-time in Antarctica because it is too cold there. All right, so you're going to finish those 4 questions on your own, but we're not done. We're going to go to chapter 3 today. I told you we're going to do 2 chapters today, 2 and 3. So chapter 3 is about physical features of our planet, okay? And this is a picture of the Great Plains out in Midwestern United States. And we're actually going to learn a lot about those in Module 2 of Wit and Wisdom. It says, within the land masses that make up our planet, geographers have come up with different types of physical features. A plain is a flat area. A plain known as the Great Plains covers much of the western United States. A mountain is a natural rise in the Earth's surface that is larger than a hill. There are many mountains in Tennessee. The tallest mountain range in the mainland United States is the Rocky Mountains. Now, when it means mainland, it means the part that is all connected, okay? Hawaii is not part of our mainland because it's separated by a big ocean. And Alaska is not part of our mainland because it is separated by another country. A valley is the low area between 2 mountains or hills. A plateau is a flat area with steep drops on both sides. A lake is a large body of water surrounded by land. A river is also a large body of water, but unlike a lake, the water in a river moves, flowing from a high place to a low place. Tennessee has many rivers. The biggest three are the Mississippi, the Tennessee, and the Cumberland. The Mississippi goes right along the western edge of Tennessee, where Memphis is, and the Cumberland is in Nashville, I believe. We're going to find out tomorrow where those 3 rivers are when we make our own map of the state of Tennessee. So an island is a piece of land surrounded by water. Tennessee is not known for its islands. Look on a globe and find the state of Hawaii in the Pacific Ocean. Hawaii consists of 8 main islands and many smaller islands. So if we're going to look for Hawaii, see, here's the mainland United States. Hawaii is way over here in the Pacific Island. This little tiny little island right here. That's Hawaii. It's really far away from the rest of us. A peninsula is an area almost completely surrounded by water, except for a piece of land that connects it with the mainland. The southern part of the state of Florida is an example of a peninsula. So this picture is Florida. See how there's water on this side, there's water on the bottom, there's water on this side, but the top part is connected to the mainland. And here are some mountains. And here's the other side of the mountains. This says some of the Rocky Mountains with a valley between them. And this is the Tennessee River in Marion County. And then I went ahead and took a picture so you can see the whole picture of the Rocky Mountains. So here are the mountains, and then this area right here that's in between them, that is the valley. So a large body of water that flows from a high place to a low place is it's a river. Good. A large body of water that generally does not flow from one place to another and is surrounded by land is where can we find that answer, guys? Can we go up here and look? I want you to find the answers and highlight it, okay? It's a lake. It's a large body of water surrounded by land. And then it says, but unlike a lake, the water in a river moves. So that makes me think that the water in a lake does not move. So the answer to number 2 would be a lake. A low area between 2 mountains or hills is a valley. All right, number 4, a large flat area is known as I want you to answer that one on your own. And a piece of land surrounded by water is okay, and then number 6, is your school on a mountain, on a plateau, in a valley, or none of these? So I want you to think, okay, because like, even though you guys are all virtual, you go to different places. Like Bryceville Elementary is definitely on a mountain, okay? Norwood, you're probably more in a valley. Grand Oaks would be in a valley. Dutch Valley obviously is in a valley. But I don't know, like Norris, you're not on a mountain. You'd be next to a lake. Fairview and Andersonville, same thing. We're not really on a mountain. We're not really in a valley. We're not on a plateau either. So maybe it would be none of those. So maybe get out of, maybe talk to your parents and see about where your school is located and what type of landform your school is located on. All right, so you're going to do the questions on this page, and you're going to finish the questions on this page, okay? I want you to reread the 2 chapters today. Before you do it, I want you to make sure that you're using the highlighting tool to go in and highlight your evidence, okay? All right, so that's all I've got for you today, and I'm going to try to remember to post it today before I start my Wit and Wisdom class like I did yesterday. It took a while to get uploaded to YouTube, but anyway, I will get those ready for you, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.